Welcome back. This is the Intel here on ENCA. It's on the eve of local government elections and South Africans taking to the polls tomorrow to vote for their local representatives and form governments at the most important sphere of government, really, many would say. Let me bring into the conversation then again my guests, Thanduxolo Sabelo as well as Nqaba Bhanga. Thanduxolo, let's pick up with you and talk about issues such as the delivery of what government likes to call human settlements, what we ordinary South Africans would call housing. There seems to be a bit of a backlog there in eThekwini. Just tell me about what you were able to do in that regard and where you fell short. Thanduxolo, I suspect you may have muted yourself as these things do happen in this kind of conversations.
Oh, yes.
Do pick up, please.
My apologies. Most definitely, Thulasizwe, there is quite a bit of a backlog with regards to human settlements in eThekwini Municipality. You will know that a well-run city which is growing like eThekwini Municipality, many people advance and want to move in and live in eThekwini Municipality. So we are welcoming many people from all parts of our country, including where Mr. Bhanga Nqaba is governing. They are coming to live in our city. So there's quite a big backlog in eThekwini Municipality with regards to housing. But we have done a lot. We are building at a very rapid pace. Like I've said earlier on, we have constructed more than 20,000 RDP houses in eThekwini Municipality in the past 5 years. I also do want to mention that we are not only concentrating on RDP housing only. eThekwini Municipality is a shining example throughout the country of looking at other forms of housing, such as social housing in eThekwini Municipality. You have witnessed a lot of buildings which are government subsidized buildings, which ensure that people who live in them get subsidized rental, and they pay quite a reduced amount to be able to live here in eThekwini Municipality. Real state-of-the-art apartments in which they are living in all over eThekwini Municipality. We've also ensured gap housing, where those who are now ready to own their houses, who earn too much to qualify for a RDP house, but too little to be able to qualify for a bond. We also subsidize that through our gap funding, and they are able to buy houses at a reduced rate through our subsidy as eThekwini Municipality.
That whole process that links to that policy of FLISP, that is finance-linked, financing for people who fall within that gap. While we are talking to you then, Thanduxolo Sabelo, let's bring in Mr. Moffat Ndlovu, who is calling us from Durban. Mr. Ndlovu, go ahead. What do you have to say in this conversation?
Your call has been placed on hold.
Ndlovu? Okay, I do believe he has placed us on hold as Mr. Ndlovu, so we'll see if we can get that caller back. While we try and do that, let's go to Nqaba Bhanga. Nqaba Bhanga, so you were pointing out to the issue of water and the drought that has hit Nelson Mandela Bay. Let me ask you about the management of your finances as well, because you are home to some of the big, production centers for the automotive sector in South Africa, and they would want a conducive environment for them to run. There was a point where they wrote to the municipality, not necessarily the automotive sector, but the business chamber was concerned enough to say that things are falling apart in Nelson Mandela Bay.
You see, I like this, what you raised in Thulasizwe, is that when there's confidence from business to what you do, you see it by action. And we have improved the relationship between the business chamber and the municipality. If I can tell you right now, the business chamber, through our engagement as government and the business chamber, have adopted the 34 substations to protect our assets as the municipality and putting money and also security personnel, CCTVs and all that, because we've improved that relationship, because they trust it. And it's important in creating a conducive environment for working with businesses. I've met with big business, the business chamber, I've met with the VW South Africa and many business institutions here in Nelson Mandela to inspire them and revive hope that things are going to be stable. And then we're working so hard, even in resolving the issues of water, we brief them. Because when there's crisis, you need leadership. And as I was saying to you, the best thing we're doing is to communicate and mobilize people together to make sure that we deal with it. And we have put up a water augmentation program. I've just opened a pipeline. In July, we were told that KwaNobuhle was going to run out of water. Nobuhle, we managed that situation working with the community. Now I've opened a pipeline that will sustain Nobuhle water problem. Therefore, they won't run out of water because we put money where our mouth is. A third of our budget was redirected to our drought mitigation problem. I'm working with engineers. I have every Monday a response task team that looks into the water crisis. And it inspires our professional staff, our partners, and our stakeholders when they see that there's leadership and ownership. I can assure you, if we are given the Nqaba dam scheme to finalize, we'll finalize it because we have timelines of finishing some of these water schemes that we want to do as a city. The ones that I'm responsible of, the timelines are in order and we're finishing them.
Are you satisfied, Mr. Bhanga, if I stick with you for just a moment, that you are tapping into the full potential of the economy of Nelson Mandela Bay, particularly as it relates to tourism? And this is a personal sense. I always felt that you're not utilizing it to its maximum. It feels to me there's more that can be done, for instance, in Nqaba, around the beaches there, by way of re-energizing. Fine, I understand what has happened with COVID-19 in the last while, in the last 19 months or so, but it always felt to me that in comparison with how, for instance, eThekwini is able to market itself as South Africa's playground and have all of that concerted effort to try and drive people to say, actually, you have options, you can come to the coast here. It felt to me like you didn't think through what else you can do with that potential.
I like what you're asking, and this is the kind of conversations we need to have. We're branding ourselves as a sporting, entertainment, and tourism destination because we've not used the full potential of our 44-kilometer-long coastal line with warmer waters. And when you come to Nelson Mandela, you are greeted by the smile of the dolphins. The sardine run starts here, and we have not explored that. And we're beginning to brand us as such. That's why I have attracted and brought the Braille competition, which is playing series in Nelson Mandela to market us. And the series is playing right now on DSTV. We have attracted COSAFA to be here. We're home of COSAFA. The Life Saving South Africa, we funded it to be here because we do not want our children to go to Durban, to go to Johannesburg, and to go to Cape Town. We have started attracting Cape Town and Durban to come to us because we're beginning to be that brand that we wish to be, a sporting and entertainment destination. And we are going to do that by reviving our ability to market our city. And you know it yourself, I've been here on national television. The name of Nelson Mandela, since I took over, is on a national discussion because we have also been able to carry the arrival of Transnet into our city better. We're dealing with the issue of manganese because we're the biggest manganese export area. I've said to the Premier of the Eastern Cape, let's take our T-shirts aside, that we are ANC and DA, and build a regional economy because the Eastern Cape is carried by the shoulders of Nelson Mandela, but we do not need to compete with Buffalo City and Port St. John's. Let's have that regional interaction in order to build an Eastern Cape economy. And we've been leading in that conversation. I'm so happy that because we think proactively and forward-looking as a city right now, and we're doing things right, I'm telling you, Thulasizwe, we want to leave Johannesburg in the next 5 years because we are going to be the best city of growth and of potential, because you have seen it that notch exactly that has not been utilized. And we are starting to do that right now. And you'll see this is going to be the best city. We are not going to compete with Durban, Joburg, and Cape Town. We want to compete with the world.
All right, let's pause you there for a moment. It's unfortunate that we don't. Okay, we do seem to have Thanduxolo Sabelo back, so which actually enables the flow of the conversation even better. On the line, we have Sihle from Umlazi. Sihle, go ahead. What do you have to say?
Afternoon, sir.
Afternoon to you.
Yes, I'm a resident of Umlazi. I'm listening to the panel representing eThekwini municipalities. There are a few things that I want to highlight, because I think these guys somehow they are taking us for granted. Mm-hmm. Number one, and it's Umlazi, the issue of refuse collection. Like if you go to Umlazi, the area is filthy because of the issues. I think it's known what the issues stem from, but it's not highlighting that as one of the failures. Secondly, even you walk within the township, the grass cutting is non-existent there. The city parks, we don't know what they are doing. They are not prioritizing Umlazi. Like Umlazi has become like a filthy area. Thirdly, also on other failures that I think the guy is forgetting to the street lights. If you go to Umlazi after 6 in the evening, it's dark because of the street lights are not working. eThekwini electricity is not functioning, but they are not mentioning because I don't know, maybe they are used to the culture whereby black people mostly, they've accustomed to that ANC is always welcome. We're not going to point anything that is wrong. Right. There's a lot of wrong things that are happening that eThekwini municipality is not doing it. I can list so much, but sure. I think the guy needs to account from what the failures of Umlazi. But I believe so with the voting, yes. Maybe people will show that's how they feel about ANC, what has been doing at Umlazi.
Sihle, thank you for your call here on the Intel. In fact, let me take it straight to Thanduxolo Sabelo. You heard there, Thanduxolo. My sense of that call is that sometimes as politicians, you perhaps think, people are thinking about the mere basics, as in they want a roof over their heads and they want water and they want electricity, as if these can't be done at the same time with the other things that enhance quality of life. So he mentions the refuse removal issue in Umlazi. He mentions issues of grass cutting in Umlazi as well as street lighting. And you and I know those last two actually link up to the issue of safety and security, because if there are no street lights, if the grass is overgrown, threats abound really in any given context.
Most definitely, Thulasizwe, like I said earlier on, there was a bit of a challenge with regards to refuse collection, which we believe that we have fairly been able to stabilize in Umlazi. One of the reasons was because there was outsourcing that was happening in Umlazi. Now, as a city, we've been able to insource and employ all those employees who were working for private contractors. They are now municipal employees. So we are actually dealing with the issue of refuse collection in Umlazi, and we believe that we are doing quite fairly well at the moment now.
What is also been able, sorry, Thanduxolo, I'll let you finish your point, but I do need to challenge you. I'm always uncomfortable when you hear a politician saying we are dealing with these issues. What does it entail? How many trucks, for example, do you dedicate to Umlazi, and how often do they go? How many sections do they cover when they do that?
Twice a week, there is refuse collection in Umlazi, covered by a lot of our trucks. Like I had said earlier on, we have purchased new fleet, around 200 million, which we have purchased fleet for Durban solid waste, which actually comes in to deal with all those challenges that we are talking about.
So go ahead and make your other point, yes.
Yes, I was saying, at the moment, if you go to Umlazi, you will realize that the issue of refuse collection is now stable and is fairly well managed. I also do want to mention the issue of street lighting, that wherever there is a challenge of street lighting, please, I can even give my number, do report, because in eThekwini municipality, we do deal with the faults of our street lights, especially in Umlazi. We've got a street pole in almost every single road in Umlazi. So it would only be probably an issue of a light bulb which we may need to change if in your street you are experiencing street lights that are off. So we do have street lighting in Umlazi, but if there are challenges, we are dealing with them, and we would like to get to know about where the challenges persist so that I can deal with it directly, because it's actually my portfolio. We are also maintaining veg in Umlazi. If you go to almost every street, we've got people who are sweeping the streets. We've got people also who are cutting grasses on the areas which belong to the municipality, which are on the verge of almost all the households. But where there are also challenges, we will gladly be able to respond to it. We're also dealing with the issue of crime in Umlazi. In fact, in the entire city, we have just recently advertised for new metropolis. We are adding to the number of metropolis, but we have got a partnership with the Department of South African Police Services, where we are working together as eThekwini Municipality Metropolis, the best run metropolis in the country, and also
Thanduxolo Sabelo, the way you love saying the best run in the country and the best in the world.
It's not Thanduxolo, it is research. It's the international rating agencies. It is independent research. It's not Thanduxolo. It's written in black and white.
I'm almost out of time. I only interject because I'm almost out of time. Let me ask this question of both of you.
But okay.
I wouldn't stop you, Thanduxolo. To both of you, because you are seasoned politicians, you operate within a political system. I've reserved this question for towards the end of our conversation. Nqaba Bhanga, you were talking about the difficulty of managing coalitions and, that tension between parties. Someone sitting in Nelson Mandela Bay weighing up their options for tomorrow is thinking, hey, this Democratic Alliance, not only did they have problems with the other parties that they were co-governing with, they had problems within themselves. How do I trust them? All these grand plans that you have for Nelson Mandela Bay, how can anyone trust that they will be seen to, completion without disturbances and changes within the DA itself and the problems that we have seen in the last 2 years?
What I like about the DA is the most stable party in the country. I can talk to you about governance. Just next door in the Kocha municipality, where the DA governs as a majority, Kocha by the Auditor General and also rating agents have been rated as the best run municipality in the Eastern Cape. That's the only one. And we've seen, because the power of being a majority of a DA-led government in the Eastern Cape, that we can do the things we want to do. That's why people who want to support the DA must understand we need this 50+1 because this contest is between the ANC and the DA. And we have to choose the DA government to run for the next 5 years and see prosperity. We have been able to interact with other parties better. We have improved, we have learned how to communicate. But you need to have the same individual who share the same values. Yeah. We have to agree that this is about delivering services. This is about good governance. And this is about dealing with the issues of the people. If you remember why Ethel Trolley fought with Mr. Bongameli Bobani, the EFF said Mr. Trolley was delivering services better. He was good. His only problem, he was white. We must move away from that in South Africa. We must look at leaders on the basis of what they can contribute, not on the color of their skin or what shade they wear. And therefore, we have to grow in coalition government to understand that values and programs are important and issues that should be unifying this coalition government.
Nqaba Bhanga, I'm out of time. I want to give Sihle, a caller from Durban, the last word. Sihle, please keep it brief. I'm completely out of time. Sorry, Joe, please go ahead. Joe in Durban.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello. My name is Joe. I worked in... Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you
Please
hear
go
me?
ahead. I'm almost out of time. Please go ahead.
Okay, I'm from Durban. I work for the municipality. I've been employed of the municipality from 1989. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Joe. Please go ahead.
Okay, I just want to say I'm just upset that our municipality has gone to the dogs, right? I'm an employer in the municipality. I'm going on pension at the end of the month, and the ANC has actually messed up our municipality.
Right.
They
Joe,
have done that.
Joe, unfortunately, because I'm really completely out of time, I have to apologize for that. I get your point that you believe the municipality has gone to the dogs. That's Joe there in Durban. And that brings us to the end of the Intel this week. We've briefed you, and we've done so on a need-to-know basis because you always need to know. I've got to thank my guests for participating today. Take care. This is ENCA. Stay with us.